Jai Jai Shri Radheshyam and welcome. Namaste Gurudevaya Sarva Siddhi Pradayine Sarva Magala Rupaja Sarvananda Vidyajine Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Vandushka Sakha Tvameva Vidyandra Vinam Tvameva Sarvamam Deva Deva. From Gourang to Gourang Das. A wonderful reading, isn't it? I am enjoying it so much. Just as the first time that I read this book. We are getting almost half of the book already. Check what Vraj Gopal Das Agarwal at his holy house, home, give to me. This is a cut from newspapers that reads Ramdas Babaji, death left the body, dead. The great Vaishnav Sadak, 1953, Calcutta, December 5. The death occurred at 2:40 this morning of the well-known Vaishnav Sadak Srimad Ramdas Babai Maharaj at Patbari Ashram, Baranagar, Calcutta. And it reads a short life sketch. Born in April 1877 in Kurmarpur village at the Faridpur district in Bengal, now East Pakistan. Ramdas Babaji was named Radhika Sharan by his parents. Radhika Sharan, Radha Raman Sharan, see the coincidences. His father Durga Sharan Gupta was a well-taught person. Radhika Sharan was the eighth child of his parents, a thing regarded as significant in India, indicating future greatness, was born as eighth child. Well, here is the newspaper. Such a sweet present from my dear Vraj Gopal. The newspaper is Amrit Basar Ravirtya or something like that. Published Monday, December 7, 1953. Ramdas Babai Maharaj ki jai. Let's continue. By the way, if you want to join online Zoom lectures with me, write me down an email right now. Gaurasangha, G-H-A at the end, Gaurasangha at gmail.com. We are about to start Zoom lectures on Sunday evening, Bharat time. Everybody is welcome, regardless of their parivar or affiliation. But we will read Shastras, that's it, and study Krishna Bhakti. During this period, Ramanand joined the Lord and became his constant companion. The Lord, although prohibited as an ascetic from seeing and having contact with royalty, Raja Pratap Rudra blessed him at last. One day the Lord had a private meeting with Nitai and told him frankly, "We have no right to think of our own happiness. You will have to go to Gour and, by distributing Harinam and Krishna Prem, save the suffering mankind. Please, Shripad, help me in my work." Nitai had no alternative. He, along with his 12 companions, known as Dwadash Gopals, left for Bengal. Now, every year except when the Lord was away from Puri, the Gaudiya Vaishnavs went to Puri on the occasion of the Rath Yatra, their wives and children also accompanying them. Once, Shivanand Sen's dog also went with the party and reached the residence of the Lord, alone and in advance. The Lord very mercifully fed and blessed the beast. Shivanand took upon himself to bear all the expenses. The Vaishnavs stayed for 4 months. The scenes were repeated: Jali, Samarpan, Gundicha, Marjan, and so on. The central figure, of course, was our Lord. Maharaj Prataprudra had made permanent arrangements for the Lord's lodging in the house of his mentor Kashi Mishra, which is now known as Radhakant Mat. The portion of the house where the Lord lived is famous as Gambira. It is near the Jagannath temple and far from the madding crowd. 2 years passed. The Lord could no more stay at Puri. He left for Vrindavan. He reached Nadia in front of his father's house. It is customary for an ascetic to visit the place of his birth once after initiation. In compliance with this, the Lord went there. We can't think of the Lord without a crowd. Wherever he went, a large crowd preceded him. Nadia was no exception. Vishnupriya had the intuition that her husband will never come again. She mustered courage and, defying all social norms, accompanied by her attendants, stepped out of the house. Covered from top to toe, she fell at the feet of her husband, our Lord. Looking at the female figure, redid a few steps and said, "Who are you?" "Lord, I am your servant, Vishnupriya," she answered in a sad, subdued tone. "What do you want?" Give, my Lord, something to prop me up so long as I am alive. I am an ascetic, I have nothing to give, the Lord replied. He thought for a while and said again, Take this and worship Krishna. He put off his wooden sandals. Vishnupriya very respectfully took them and pressing them against her bosom, turned back slowly and silently. Well, the Lord met Sashi, mother, and obtaining her permission to go to Vrindavan, proceeded further. The Lord reached Ramkeli and met the two brothers, Davir Khas and Sakar Malik, holding topmost positions under Hussain Shah, the ruler of Bengal. They were named Rup and Sanatan, respectively, by the Lord. They are among the famous 6 Goswamis. The Lord, after blessing them and giving them necessary instructions, instead of going to Vrindavan, returned to Puri. Who can understand the mind of the Lord of Yogamaya Devi? It, however, appears that the Lord came to Ramkeli only to meet and bless the two brothers with his own spirit, so that they might complete the great task the Lord entrusted to them. His pretext, however, was Vrindavan. While going back to Puri, the Lord came again to Shantipur and sent for Sashi. He stayed there for 10 days and relished the dishes she prepared. During this break in the journey, Raghunath of Saptagram met the Lord for the second time. He is also one of the 6 Goswamis. It was during this stay that the Lord, along with only Nitai, paid a visit to Ambika Kalna and met his ardent devotee Gauri Das Pandit. One quiet, incredible and unimaginable incident took place there. Since Gauri Das did not let them go, the Lord placed before him 2 idols exactly like Nitai and himself. Gauri Das, strangely enough, examined the idols and the 2 living beings again and again, even by making them eat the meal. He failed to differentiate the idol from the living being. At last, one pair of Nitai Gaur remained at Kalna, and the other pair came back. Which pair is at Kalna? Who can say? During their return journey, the Lord went to Baraha Nagar via Kumarhat and Panihati and met Raghunath Upadhyaya. The Lord, extremely happy and content with his readings of the Bhagavata, conferred on him the Bhagavata Acharya title. The Patbari, the house where the reading was performed at Calcutta, is now looked after by the followers of the famous Gaudiya saint Sripad Ramdas Babai Maharaj from Radharaman Charandas Dev Parivar. The Lord was rushing to Vrindavan immediately after the initiation at Katba. In his second attempt, he reached only up to Ramkeli. Now he again left for Vrindavan via the dense forest of Jharkhand. At the ardent request of the devotees, he agreed to take 2 attendants, Balbhadra Bhattacharya and Krishnadas Vipra Arya. Passing through the Jharkhand area, the Lord, with his magic figure and sweet harinam, attracted the wild beasts. Even the inanimate objects were filled with Krishna Prem, and the entire nature began to bloom and blossom. The Chaitanya Charitamrita gives the details. At Varanasi, the Lord met Tapa Mishra, whom years ago he had directed to leave Bengal and settled at Kashi. Tapa Mishra, after his arrival at Kashi, gave birth to a son, Raghunath Bhatt, who is also one of the 6 Goswamis. Raghunath Bhatt, then a child, served the Lord lovingly and received his blessing. From Kashi to Prayag, Allahabad, then Mathura. At Mathura, the Lord by chance met a Brahmin, Krishnadas, who appeared to be a good brother of Ishvarpuri. Krishnadas was a constant guide and companion of the Lord during his entire Braj wanderings. The Yamuna, Mount Govardhan, the 12 forests, the 24 ghats, bathing place of the Yamuna, each and everything reminded the Lord of Krishna and his Leela. The Lord will again and again fell in a faint, shout Hari Bole joyfully and jump into the Yamuna. In the vicinity of Govardhan, the Lord went to the temple of Gopal, the deity of Madhavendra Puri, Ishvarpuri's guru. Lord Gopal is now served at Nath Dwara city in Rajasthan. One Krishnadas was born at Lahore, now in Pakistan. He, at the age of 7, saw the Lord in a dream. He rushed to Vrindavan like a possessed person. The only words on his lips were, "My Gaura, where is my Gaura?" Years passed this way. Krishnadas, now quite a young boy, saw the Lord at Govardhan and recognized him at once. Empowered by the Lord, he spread the Lord's teachings and religion in Malabar, Multan, Gujarat, Sindh and other places. He also installed the Nitai Gour idols in these places, as the Lord very mercifully and affectionately gave him Gunjamala garland. He was known as Krishnadas Gunjamali. Lord Gourang's wandering in Vraj Vrindavan was actually Radha's roaming in search of Krishna, whom she had lost. The Lord at present was not Chaitanya the ascetic, he was truly Radha, feeling the pangs of separation from Krishna. This separation was so heart-rending that Gourang, Radha, would frequently fall in a swoon and jump into the Kalindi, Jamuna. The blackish water of the Jamuna, the sight of the black tamal tree, and such other objects will remind her of Krishna, and she will lose control over her body and mind. In that state, it will be almost impossible for the Lord's companions to save him. They, at last, thought it better to take him away from Vrindavan. The Lord, in the return journey, via Soron, Shukar Kshetra, reached Prayag. On the way, he blessed Bijali Khan, the Pathan prince, his mentor and companions. The Lord named the mentor Ramdas. They came to be known as Pathan Vaishnavas. The Pathan Vaishnavas did a lot in spreading the Lord's Prem Bhakti in the western part of India. In the meantime, Rup left his job and family, Rup Goswami Pad. He, along with his young brother Anupam Sri Balab, left for Vrindavan in the hope of meeting the Lord there. It was a pleasant surprise for him to know that the Lord had returned from Vrindavan and at that time was at Prayag. Rup remained with the Lord for 10 days. During this period, the Lord taught him all basic principles of Vaishnava religion and directed him to go to Vrindavan, live there permanently, and write books propagating the Lord's views and philosophy. At Prayag, Ballavacharyaji, the famous sponsor of the Vallabha Sampradaya, invited the Lord to lunch. He worshipped Krishna as Vraj Gopal. Later on, when he went to Puri to meet the Lord, he became a disciple of Gadadhar Pandit and began to worship the Yugal, both Radha and Krishna. The Lord left for Kashi, Varanasi. After Rup had given up his official duties and left Bengal, Sanatan also began to neglect his duties. The ruler of Bengal put him in prison, but he managed to come out, secretly left Bengal and met the Lord at Varanasi. Sanatan was lucky to stay with the Lord for 2 months. During this period, the Lord, like a very loving patron, explained to him the fundamentals of religion and many related matters. Then he said the same thing: go to Vrindavan. The sacred places related to Krishna Leelas are all lost to us. Discover them and make them known to the people. Besides, write books on Vaishnava cult and one Vaishnava Smriti to guide and control the conduct of Vaishnavas. Sanatan Goswami, which text is this? Possible Hari Bhakti Vilas. Empowered by the Lord's Spirit, Sanatan went to Vrindavan. Both Rup and Sanatan wrote many books, keeping in mind the Lord's view and points, or the Lord's viewpoints. The Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the Brihad Bhagavatamritam, the Ujjwal Nilamani are a few of the writings. Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki jai, Mahavira Raman ki jai, Jai Nitai, Jai Gour, Jai Jai Sri Radesya. I hope you enjoyed this lecture. We will continue by tomorrow with this fantastic journey of our Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Rupa Goswami Pada ki jai, Sanatan Goswami Pada ki jai, Jai Jai Sri Radesya. As always, do what is correct. Subscribe, like, share this video. Leave a comment if you want to support my work. Remember Zoom lectures on Sunday evening. Why not? Welcome.